All right, welcome to day 173, I think. It's a rainy day here in the Shenandoah National Park. It's much cooler today. We're hiking from a parking area off of Skyline Drive, which I guess is probably most of the areas here, and hiking north to where we stopped yesterday, which is the parking area off Highway 55. And yeah, it's going to be about 14 miles and about 2,000 feet of elevation. Should be a pretty easy day. This giant owl is like 10 feet to my left, just took off. Oh well, I'm too slow with the phone. This is the trail, and you can see it's like almost like a road, but it's wet. Everything's wet. It's muddy. So yesterday I made a separate video about our future plans to hike, and because of Hurricane Helene, you know what that means to us. And we know that basically as of yesterday we knew we're going to have to get off trail. I think the more we find out, the more it becomes apparent that that's just the only option. Then the question becomes, well, when do you have to get off trail? Originally, the ATC said something about the bottom 1/3, which would be about the end of the Shenandoahs. But now they're being very specific. And mile marker 865, they're saying below that is a bad idea. So that may be where we hike to. If that's the case, we'll be there in a week. 7 days of hiking, and we'll be at 865 and we'll be done. So yeah, it's a little bittersweet. You know, we were all set up to finish this thing. We've done all the hard stuff. This was going to be the easy part, right? We're just going to cruise down in the fall through Virginia, see a lot of cool stuff, and all these places we had read about. You know, McCaffey Knob and Tinker Cliffs, Dragon's Tooth, Rowan Highlands. You know, it's so much. But anyways, those places don't go away. There are more important things right now in regards to what's going on that really are. It's just our hike is just a silly little trivial thing. So it reminds. I was thinking about this. I don't think this has ever happened on the AT. And if it has, you know, someone let me know. But I don't think they've ever had this kind of a problem where they shut down for a large section of it. Even last year when they had remnants of a hurricane causing flooding up north, they just rerouted people around some of the swollen rivers. But this is different, right? This is 865 miles of trail that they're saying don't go on. It reminds me much more of what happens now with the PCT, with the fires, you know. And I don't know if I've ever seen an official word on this, but I know that when people detour a large section of the PCT due to fires, they go back next year or whenever they can and finish their hike and consider it a through hike. So I think that would be the same thing here. You know, if we skip 600 miles of trail and then come back and do it, it's still a through hike, because it really wasn't it was out of our hands that we couldn't finish it, right? I think that's the criteria I would use, and I would feel pretty good about. The only question then is, when can you do that 600 miles? And originally yesterday I was thinking like, well, we could do it, you know, February, March, you know. And now I'm realizing, based on how much devastation there is, that I don't think is realistic at all. I could be wrong. We could hear different and learn more over the winter, but I'm thinking, you know, maybe by summer 2025, maybe. But it's possible that we're not hiking until 2026 to finish this thing. I don't know. You know, it's just, that's what we don't have enough information on at this point, and we hope to get. So again, what we do know, and this will be coming out and probably published after I'm already home, is that it seems like we'll probably stop hiking in 7 or 8 days and get off trail. And that sucks. I mean, but look, I'm very aware that, again, that this is just a silly little hike, and compared to what people are going through, you know, it's almost ridiculous to say, oh, poor me. So I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to do the best thing that we should be doing at this point. And I know that that's not burdening any people down there, not putting ourselves in more danger, which potentially could create issues where someone needs to help us, and that's not what they need to be doing right now. Anyways, it's just that it all kind of adds up to, it'd be very selfish of me to continue when I could just do it later. And it'll be fine. So that's where we're at right now on the hike. All right, so yeah, this reminds me of when we were last in the South. We're walking in rivers. Here we are again. This rain's supposed to be here all day. In fact, it's supposed to be here for the next 3 days. Well, it is what it is. All right, this is the trail. It's a river. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting through this without getting my feet wet. I think that's just a given. A lot of water. Alright, we've come to what was probably not a big deal in terms of a little stream, but with all the rain is now a thing. Alright, so I went ahead and crossed on those rocks, and yeah, your feet get a little wet. It wasn't a big deal. You can kind of see that if you wanted to, you could have walked. It looked pretty treacherous and difficult to get across that, to get over there. And once you do that, you can actually see that there's a bridge where the water's running in those pipes. It's an interesting section of the trail. You're in between some suburban homes, and you can see that there's a large farmland or something that for some reason has barbed wire, like want to keep people out. And you just walk along this, and we've been doing that for a bit. And yeah, so, and you got the rolling Virginia hills. It's nice. Apparently we're going to meet the van in just a little bit at a halfway, well, not quite halfway, but a 5.6 miles in point on our 13.8 mile hike. Yeah. All right, I think we understand why there's barbed wire keeping people out. This is not just a farm. This is a secure facility for the U.S. government called Waller Barn. Don't know what they do, but it's something. And yeah. It's kind of funny though how the blaze is on the inside of this fence. Alright, so we did get to the van, had a cup of coffee, and met hiker Rip, who was southbound. Rip had been doing, he did the PCT in 2022, he did the CDT in 2023, and he's doing a full Sobo hike in 2024. But that van meeting point in the Shenandoahs was his last stop. He's getting off the trail. Had a trolley come pick him up, take him off. He's done. So he was expressing that he thinks a lot of the Sobo crowd is stopping, and he said, why wait till after the Shenandoahs when it's going to be harder and more people and might involve getting in the way of rescue people, etc. So he says, I'm just getting off now. What difference does 100 miles make if he tries to make it up later? Which is a good point, especially after someone who's done that many miles over 3 years. So yeah, it's all becoming real that this hike is gonna be over, you know? It's just kind of tough. Oh well. Alright, I'm aware I haven't videoed or taken many photos or anything. So really the trail's been pretty much the same. So I've been like this other than going by that military installation of some sort. Yeah, so not much to see, not much to do at that stream we crossed. Well, that's pretty much it. I think I might be missing something, but yeah, so the only theme of today's hike is you know, the impending ending of the hike seems to be the thing that's most in my mind. And I have to admit that I'm a little more, I think, bothered by this idea than I thought I would be. I mean, I think logically this all makes sense and I can tell myself why. But on the other hand, you know, I've been thinking about doing this since I was a kid, been years in the planning, and now it's all coming to an end. So I guess it kind of makes sense that I'm a little bothered. And I figure I'll just have to, you know, kind of digest this change and be okay with it. I mean, because logically, I can't fault it. It totally makes sense to do this. Yeah, but on a positive note, which would be good, even though it's rainy, it's a nice temperature. It's cool, not hot. And this trail has had its couple of moments that I didn't really care for, but for the most part, it's been pretty freaking awesome. It's this dirt path, right? So, really loving that. That's great. So that's my positives for today. So I didn't want to be all Mr. Negative. Wah, wah, you know. So I just got to turn my head around, if you know what I mean. All right, this day is drawing to an end as far as hiking. Just under a half mile to go. Been raining pretty steadily, so I'm a little tired of that. Highlight of the day was meeting a fellow hiker. I think his name is Anthony, might go by Slowpoke. Anyways, he thru hiked in 2019 and attempted a thru hike at the PCT this year. But very cool guy. We spent a lot of time talking, and yeah, quite the pleasure meeting him. So, and his dog. Yeah. So yeah, we're wrapping up this day, but we're almost done. So that's cool. Going out to a new hotel tonight and getting a hot shower. That'll be good.